Okay.
All right. Now that our technical difficulties are over, I'll call the December meeting of the Guilford Shellfish Commission to start. We'll start with item number 1, the public forum. Do we have any members of the public who wish to talk or attending or? Okay. I'll take the silence as a no. We will move on to, I believe it's kind of enlarged right now. I can't really see it, but I believe it's the.
Make sure I reshare that. Sorry.
My kids just set up the apartment we have on our house as their schoolroom. So I'm using their computer. So I don't know if it's my computer that's doing things different.
Or, that was me.
Okay. So the minutes of the November 19th, 2020 meeting. Everybody should have had time to review them.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any changes? Scrap?
I propose we accept the meetings minutes.
I had one thing. I believe that the stocking of the small baby clams, it didn't include Great Harbor, but it did say Indian Cove. I don't know if that's correct or not.
Can you hear me? I didn't hear. I missed something. All I heard was somebody say, I don't know if that's correct or not.
In the minutes from, I believe it was last month, it said that the seed clams were stocked in everywhere but Great Harbor. And it did include Indian Cove. I don't think that's correct, right? I'm sure Great Harbor got
I think
seed
we did
clams
everywhere
also.
besides Sachem's Head. I know we did Great Harbor.
Yeah,
Mike
but
and I did that ourselves.
all right. It didn't include it though.
Okay.
Okay. It's no big deal, but I
So
just want to
should we make a motion to make that change that it included, Great Harbor was included?
This is for the sea clams and not for Chris's clams, right?
Oh, right. So Tony, there was 2 different stockings that went on. There was a seeding
yes.
stocking. And the stocking was the second half of the $6,000 expenditure we approved in August or September.
Okay.
And that one, the first half went all to Great Harbor and the second half went everywhere besides Great Harbor.
Okay. All right.
So that's,
okay. Thank you.
how
That clears it up.
thanks, Judy, for catching that, or remembering that.
I thought that was what it might be. I don't.
Okay. All right. So with that, anybody want to make a motion to approve?
Make a motion to accept the minutes as corrected.
No, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. With that, we'll move on to item 3, commercial activity. I believe is the last, actually, yeah, the November meeting. Mike brought up that there was a young gentleman who's interested in possibly leasing grounds in Guilford. We're still trying to cross paths and connect and maybe give a little tutorial or on the steps, whether he should go to the state and get licensed and approved first before he gets the grounds and the different ways to get the grounds kind of thing. But I'm trying to work with Mike and get in touch with Jack on that.
Has he reached out to you, Ed?
No.
I'll remind him to
Okay.
reach out to you.
Okay.
I did pass on your number to him.
Okay. Thank you. Other than that, commercial, Peter and I still have to meet also and get the 2021 invoices finalized and sent out. And I think that should be our priority, Peter. So we can get them sent out right after the January meeting once they're approved.
Yeah, I've got time.
I dragged my feet and been going 100 different directions, as I know everybody has.
I'll have time during the holidays, Ed, if we can carve out a couple hours.
Okay.
Let's talk offline.
Okay. All right. Bills and correspondence.
Okay. So bills that I that received, payables for approval. East River Marine for the boat, $865. Nancy Matsiowski, data entry, $71. Alan Brown, warden fees for November, $120. Greg Marsh, warden fees for the months of May, June, July, August, and September, totaling $1,840. So the total amount of payables for approval by the commission is $2,896.
What was is that 5 months for Greg?
Yes,
Okay, so roughly 350 a month.
plus or minus, yeah. So one of the items separate from this that I'll mention is suggest that I plan a warden's meeting during the off season where we can discuss coverage of the beds. We have a $9,000 budget, making sure we have a plan to keep within our budget and maximize our coverage. And so I'd like to get input from the wardens on that and come into the season in 2021 with a plan that stays within the budget and maximizes our coverage.
For the next meeting, can you get a year-to-date, fiscal year-to-date number where we're at of that 9,000?
Yes, I can. I do not have an update from the town, but I think we'll be within it, certainly. It's
right.
just ensuring we maximize coverage. It's more of a discussion, of course, covering all of the beds.
Right. Okay.
I motion we accept the invoices.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
When we're making a motion and we're seconding, can we say our names along with that? So Judy can make sure she's recognizing the correct voice.
Carried unanimously.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 I just
I
did request at one of the last meetings that it's harder to see whose lips are moving kind of thing with the Zoom.
John, I
Just-
did want to
I
mention-
make a motion to do that or whatever. It'll help her.
I mentioned that the East River invoice for the services that were on the invoice, I had a couple other people look, and I think that we can receive similar services for about half the price. And I'm going to suggest that we consider looking at options for the boat maintenance that would allow us to provide the coverage with a lower cost.
Okay.
Separate from the maintenance, of course.
Right.
Which
I've
is warranty.
given that a little bit of thought along the lines, and it's kind of one of those having to almost take it two places because East River has to do the warranty services. It's hard. It's kind of, we can save money, but it's a lot less, somebody's gonna have to trailer a boat to a second place, or if we can get one that would do it on site.
Yeah, I have two options to do it on site
Okay.
for half the price.
Okay.
What are you suggesting, Peter? Because I honestly, I've taken my boat to East River Marine. I don't think that the what Paul Nelson charges is like way out of the ordinary. It seems to be in line with other marine services. But what are you proposing?
I'm only proposing before we do any major investments on the boat, we get multiple quotes that would be comparable and of the quality we expect.
Because in the springtime, I just want to say this, I think that we've saved quite a bit of money in the last few years. In the springtime, I've been, cleaning it and waxing it. And we save money doing that. The winterization of it and the shrink wrapping, that if you want to do that, I'm not opposed to it, but I don't know how much, like Ed was saying, unless we had someone that does it mobily, that does shrink wrapping and mechanical work, who's also an authorized like warranty person for the motor. I don't know that we're going to do better than that.
So
I'm only proposing we take a look because it seemed like such a large
I think that
potential
invoice
discrepancy.
that invoice is basically power washing, winterization, and wrapping, right? Peter?
I didn't see power washing on it. Actually,
It's
it did have, but I didn't see the detail on winterization. Maybe that's it. So it could be that we specify more on what we're looking for in the detail, and we get competitive views, and East River could certainly continue the work. I'm only saying that we're sole sourcing, and just given what I saw in the invoice, maybe it was the lack of detail, but for what was on the invoice, I did find options that were far less.
All right, I agree.
We got to do, if you don't mind, we should, and I'm not opposed to it. I do all the winterization to my boat, right? I have a 4-cylinder motor. I think that there's a 3. What I spend on on Paul's invoice, he has what he spends on the parts. It's going to be about 150. So the parts are going to be probably $150 to $200 with all the filters and the plugs and the fluids and the gaskets and all that stuff, right? His labor charge is going to be about $150, $200. The shrink wrapping was $300 and the power washing was $100. It came to like $800 with taxes. I mean, that to me, that's for all that stuff that was done is probably what you're going to pay no matter who you go with, but I'm okay.
It may just be that it wasn't detailed on the invoice, John. That could be it.
I don't
That
think
was on there though, Peter. I remember seeing power washing and the parts and the labor. I mean, he didn't say one spark plug, one gasket, how many gallons of fluid. What I know from what I spend on my motor, and I get my stuff online. I get it pretty cheap. I spend probably $200 in parts every year, just on parts. So I mean, he charged like another $150 to do the labor. The shrink wrapping was $300. That's a little bit more than we probably, if we outsource that, we could probably do a little bit better. But like Ed was saying, then we'd be moving around.
right. And I do have somebody that'll do it on site. He's had somebody come and do 3 boats for me Saturday, and he did wood framing, everything on the boats.
Was it Todd from
Yep.
from Clinton?
Yes.
Yeah, he does good work.
Yeah. He did 3 boats for $650.
Yeah, he wrapped my boat one year, and I probably saved $70 than having like Paul do it. So
Yeah. I know he's a straight $10 flat fee per foot.
okay.
So it is something to look at. I'm trying to pull up the invoice. I mean, I agree. If the plugs and everything are being changed, if that's part of that invoice, I wouldn't have as much problem with it, but I'm not sure if that was.
I asked Paul a few years ago what he did to the Honda. I mean, he does all the plugs, all the fluids, all the gaskets. He fogs the motor. He replaces all the fuel filters in the system. I mean, the fuel filters are like $60 for the 2 of them. I mean, it adds up fast.
Okay. All right. Well,
The rack and filter is like 20. You have like almost $100 in filters.
all right. I think I don't agree if it includes all that, but I think we should look at it, make sure it is. And like,
You lost your audio, Ed.
Yeah, I lost him too.
Ed, hello?
I lost it for a while. I don't know what's going on here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, let's definitely keep an eye on it and look at it in the future, I think.
Yep.
Okay, warden's reports. Or did anybody have any correspondence? I had one. The Trolley Road organization called again to learn how to go to the public forum that we have, and they have concerns about the parking down there, and they attribute it all to clammers, not to kayakers. beach goers, crabbers, guests of Trolley Road, any of that. It's all clammers. I told them that the agenda is posted, the town hall and the public forums there, and they are more than welcome to come to the meeting via Zoom and express their concerns in the public forum. And they're not here, and I don't believe they were here last week either. So
Correct.
it's just something, I'm sure sooner or later it's gonna be there, and they did correspond, so I'm just reporting that. So now we'll move on to warden's reports.
Well, it's November was light, of course, and there's always a couple of days a week you get one or two, something like that. I don't put down for that. I just watch them and then go out and check them real quick. But if there's like 6 or 7 or something like that, then of course I go out there. So November lightened right up, and now December has been very quiet till the other day when we opened up again. So we did get hit with about 10 people down there because it was a warm day and it was a nice day. So we got hit pretty heavy, but I don't anticipate we're going to see much more than that, maybe a few more to the end of December. But I don't even know if we're going to, if we get snow and stuff, we probably won't be seeing anything. So it's dead quiet right now. As far as the Trolley Road thing,
That's another commission issue. That's not warden stuff. We'll keep that. I don't want to get into any discussion until they bring it up.
well, I was at their meeting, so you want to hear about it or you don't want to hear about it?
Well, I want when their spokesman comes to us and reports it officially. That's what I want.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
All right, warden duties, that's the warden duties.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alan.
Okay, can we go to item number 6, the subcommittees? Recreation. I don't have, I know Peter's been trying to distribute out licenses. I don't know. I know I have not taken the action to go and see Peter to get my distribution for me to sell, but
I'll bring them to you, Ed. I can report though that I did reach out to Parks and Rec, Rick Maynard, about possibly being a channel to sell our licenses. He was bringing up to the Park and Rec meeting. I do have to follow up with him. So, you know, that may be an option for additional license sales, but I do not have an update from Rick yet.
okay. All right. We will move on to water sampling. I know Bob Berger went out with a fireboat this past Thursday to get our reopening samples. There's some communication chain breakdown between the state, the commission, and the health department at this point, and we need to get that straightened out. Basically, we're not getting notified or that kind of thing, and it's, you know, we'll get that worked out. I know the health department is very strained staff-wise with all this pandemic stuff. You know, they get one student in a classroom, they have 30 students, and they have to reach out to 30 families and figure out all the social contact chains and who's quarantining and who's not. Understand that, but we also require some attention too. So we're going to get that very soon, because we can't have this of nobody knowing if we're open or not and who's getting communications, and nobody on the commission got it, and we're sitting there not looking like we should be. So that's water sampling. The boat, it's pulled out, winterized. It's sitting at the Lombard Winter Storage Boatyard on 33 Lovers Lane for a nice spring day to be opened up and floated. I think there was one item on that came up, getting for the Garmin head unit we bought 2 years ago. There's a chirp, what you call it, a transducer, which is very highly sensitive on the bottom and stuff, and can be an all-in-one unit versus having 2 units. And I know Bob and John were talking a little bit about that. I think Bob had found one, somebody posted online for about half price. And there was, going back and forth. Do we get the new one? Should we get it? Do we need it? So that was one issue with the boat. John might be able to elaborate a little on that, but Bob was kind of the person who brought the topic up, and he's not here, but so we may want to wait for the next meeting when he's here.
I will say this, we probably, whether we get that one or a new one, I think we're gonna need one. The cord on the transducer is shot. It got tangled in the polisher more than once. And it's old. I mean, it's probably the age of the boat when that original Garmin unit was installed.
Okay.
The one Bob found online, I think it was like 100. I think they're like around $200. That one was like around 100. So I think it would be a good idea to get one when we have the opportunity to. In the grand scheme of boat maintenance and stuff like that, it's not a lot of money.
Okay. Do you foresee any big spring costs before we float it again?
Other than like polishing pads, and a can of wax. I have rubbing compound left over from last year.
Okay.
I would say no more than $150 probably.
Okay. I'm just trying to seeing if there's anything major we're going to be thinking about that needs to be done to it. Stocking. And we don't have anything new to report. We reported everything back in the November meeting, the last stockings of the year that took place, stocking and seeding that took place in October. The next one we have to look forward to is mid-April will be oysters. So with that, we can move on to finance.
I do not have a report from the town to update this month, but I will endeavor to get one next month. I do have some receivables I can report on for the month.
Did you get my text on those? They were late.
Yeah, I did. I just need to know what the source of that is, Ed.
Okay, it was myself, Fred Hill, and Greg Marsh.
Okay, so GSC. Thanks.
Yes, they're all GSC.
Okay.
And I gave you the breakdown.
Yeah, I got that. Thank you. We have $75 GSC cash for one non-res annual. Fish Factory, $297 cash. One annual res senior, one annual res, 3 non-res. $150 GSC cash, 2 annual res, 2 non-res, and then $815, as Ed mentioned, GSC. $40 in check, $775 in cash, 4 non-res, 1 non-res senior, and 18 res. That's total. I didn't add this up. It looks like it is $1,237 in receivables.
Okay. Was there anything from Captain Morgan in that?
Yeah, I called Captain Morgan and I was reminded that for the month of December, he doesn't submit. He submits both months in January.
Okay.
So I'll pick that up in January. One thing we were going to talk about is in 2021, just the responsibilities for picking up, from the different sources. I'll assume responsibility for Captain Morgan, and unless somebody is better equipped to do it, I can do Town Hall. I think we've got progress. I'm sorry, is it John or Bob that's doing, John, it's you that's doing Fish Factory and D's, right?
Correct. And I think Bob does River's End.
I think River's End is dropping off our list.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that for certain, but okay, thank you.
And then I'd love to see Park and Rec if we can get any momentum with them, but again, I reported, I'm still waiting to hear from Rick. Then, of course, GSC Allen, it's been great. I've given licenses for 2021 to Allen. John's given them out to Fish Factory and D. I've brought them over to Town Hall and to Captain Morgan. I do need day passes, Ed, which I think you may have some.
Yes, I do.
So that's the other thing we can connect on.
Okay.
Anybody else on the commission that needs some that would be able or willing to sell them to family and friends, and just ping me and we can find a time for you to swing by and pick some up.
Here, I would like to be slotted for, a number of licenses.
That'd be great.
I can swing by your house and
Yep.
pick up a number of them.
Yeah, let me know if it's what you want, and I'll record it and give it to you. So that'd be great. Thank you, Mike.
Great, thanks.
And I need to get with you also, Peter.
Yep.
1, to drop off the money, and 2, to pick some up, especially that 007.
Yeah, I kept that whole first 0-0 stack, remembering that arrangement.
Okay. Well, I think Tony likes to get 0001. Is that right, Tony?
No, I'm gonna be getting a free one in February,
All right.
lifetime.
Okay. The 0007 goes to Garth Varian. He likes to, that was Allison's last license number, so Peter saved me because in my head, I woke up at like 3 a.m. and thought I had forgotten, and Peter distributed licenses, but
And I
Peter
remember.
remembered and put it aside, so thank you on that.
Yep.
Okay, we're good on finance. Let's move to special projects.
I have nothing to report.
Okay,
Nothing here.
all right. Signs,
All right, all the signs that we are now presently open. And before you came on, Ed, there was a little minor discussion as to the follow-ups with Sonia.
yes,
And I'm sure that you're working hard on it. And it's, we do what we're told to do. When we're notified that we have to open, we open. When we're notified to close, we close.
Right.
I try to stay on it as best I can, but we don't take action unless we're notified.
right, and we weren't notified at all,
Right.
so.
Tony, you've been great on that. Thank you for everything you do there.
You're welcome.
And Tony did slide in a little reminder that he's gonna be, or probably not going to be on after February when his term expires. So that's an area of signs that we're going to be looking for a person to take over. So everybody who's, on for at least a year or two or whatever, give it some consideration or thought about a good way to handle it. Tony's had the flexibility in his schedule usually that he can get out and get it done as quickly as, humanly possible. He's not going to go out at 11 o'clock at night in the pitch black and do them, but, I'm sure if somebody has interest or whatever, Tony could give them, figure out, what it takes roughly on time. I think it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours to hit all the air.
Yeah, we lost him.
I lost you again, Ed.
I don't think he could hear us either.
Can you hear me?
No, we lost you when you said if someone could take over the signs.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yep. If anybody has any interest in it or is willing to, let's start thinking about that kind of thing. So I don't know why it seems like all of our terms expire in February, but so, all right, go on to the website. I don't have anything to report on it.
I did an update on with Tracy Brinkman of the PDF that is on the site that provides information on where to buy licenses. So it's updated. There were a couple changes. I also added Alan Brown, was kind enough to volunteer to have his name, social security number, address, actually his name and his number for anybody who wanted to purchase licenses. So Alan was gracious enough to do that as well.
Thank you, Alan. On our Facebook, should we put on like one quick reminder before Christmas? Maybe like if you're looking for a great last minute present, the licenses that are available at our vendors.
I did an update to make sure people knew the 2021 licenses were out and
Okay.
they were available. And I laid out the locations and also that they'd be honored effective immediately for the remainder of 2020. I think I might have highlighted, great Christmas gift, but I didn't do a big marketing spin. So
Okay.
one thing it's worth mentioning to everybody here, and Mike, you being new to the commission, is we do have a Facebook page for Guilford Shellfish Commission, which we've not really done a lot with, but we have a small but loyal following, and a few of us have administrative rights. So anyone who wants to be involved in posts, you find things on the web that are interesting to people that might follow the Guilford Shellfish Commission, post them. So make sure we all take a look at that, and it's our collective creative energy that can help generate more interest and participation.
I noticed looking around, some of the other towns are using the IG, the Instagram. I see a lot of posts on the Instagram about stuff. Other towns are actually posting their open and closed status with that, making like a flash post or whatever. Sorry, but we're closed until further notice, that kind of thing. I don't know if that's a route we want to take in the future as a commission, but
Yep. So there's an option you post on your Facebook page, you can automatically post on Instagram. So I can generate that option.
okay.
I think Facebook like owns Instagram.
Sorry?
Facebook like owns Instagram.
For the time being.
Next
Facebook
to being a Twitter.
Facebook is over 40s now, and Instagram is under 20s.
Yeah. So the small amount of work we've done with our Facebook page has really generated good response, followers, some comments. It's been pretty helpful. There's much more we can do.
Okay. All right. So that's, if anybody has suggestions on that, bring them up anytime. Whether you see like another town on Instagram posting, or Niantic Bay shellfish, or Indian River shellfish, or Clinton, those are commercial guys, but they're posting almost every day on Instagram, just drawing interest, like don't forget about us, or look what
Okay. And you might have lost your audio again.
now I'm back. I can hear you again.
You might want to stop your video. It could be a bandwidth problem for you for the time being.
Okay. Stop. No, that's you. Stop video.
Yep.
Okay.
See if that helps.
All right. So I'll move on to land acquisition.
Okay, Land Acquisition Committee, they've purchased some land up near Radia, possibility of relocating Public Works at a later date.
Okay. So nothing shellfish.
Nothing
Oriented.
shellfish now.
Okay. We'll move on to Sea Grant.
Sea Grant has published rack lines. If anybody's interested, I could email a copy of it to them. Has a lot to do with education.
What is, can you just give a real quick high level, what is the rack lines?
Rack lines is it's a publication by Sea Grant. they're putting out a educational program that they're doing on Long Island Sound with all different high schools and generally elementary schools. They're focusing on minorities, how
Okay,
they're trying to get programs going.
okay,
If anybody needs a copy of it, I guess I can email it to them.
okay. Thank you. Harbor Management Commission?
Nothing particular has happened. All the moorings have been finalized and it's pretty much put to bed for the year.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, real quick, Keith, I think Harbor Management Commission is a commission we have to have a liaison with. And I think I saw your name on a list of February.
Yep.
Okay. Are we gonna need a new Harbor Management liaison? Probably.
Yes, you will.
Okay. I just
And
wanted to
also,
kind of have it so I can just note it, that's something we need to tie an end to.
I'm kind of stuck in Florida right now.
Okay, I understand. I guess it's not that bad of a place to be stuck.
No snow.
All right. So we'll move on to docks, moorings, other stuff.
They've taken some stone they've put down near the water line down by Indian Cove. They've put about 3 inches of stone down there, so it's pretty well protected.
Okay. I received a call last Tuesday from John Lust, who's working with the Guilford Yacht Club, and we had approved on the north end of their basin, there were a bunch of the floating docks that they used for their sailing camp that were unattached to any docks. And they were looking to move like one piling and put in a 10-foot little section. It was all over their basin. Didn't go into any of the commercial grounds with Stellamar. Stellamar had said they had no problem with it, but John just wanted clarification that we approved it, which I went back and looked at the minutes and we had, so I just gave that. So that's nothing new, it was just reaffirming our stance on that. So we have old business. Still waiting. A great number review of the Shellfish Management Plan is still on hold pending for the state. Number 9, do we have any new business that we want to start tracking as an item on our agendas, or anything anybody want to bring up?
Ed, I'll only mention what you mentioned previously with Jack Creamer,
Okay.
which I did text him while we were on our call here, and he's going to reach out to you over the weekend.
Okay.
So
that, and I'm noting that down, and I'm also as an item continuation for rollover of commissioners on things like harbor management and signs, because that's gonna those.
Yeah, I believe I'm out in February also. I'm out in February also.
Okay. Yeah, the things that Keith and Tony have been doing are duties that are going to have to be rolled over to somebody else. So I just want to make sure we stay on top of that and we don't lose any stances on how we work it and stuff like that. So I'll put that as an item just to keep tracking of them. If anybody that's going to drop off at any time, I would say kind of list your duties, maybe what you do monthly, or that when there's a closure, the signs, so that you can kind of roll that off and say, these are my duties as I'm about to exit the commission. So we don't have any lapses in getting things done.
Or just validate an interest in being reappointed.
Right. So either one.
Excuse me, so usually there's an annual elections sometimes in February or whenever you have time to do it. But since you'll be losing 3 people at this time, you probably won't have a quorum. after February. So you might want to consider letting the selectman's office and the political parties know that your commission may not be able to make any major decisions until you have at least four people of regular members or alternates that can be put into place.
Okay. Is that something where we could ask either currently standing commission and the political party that we kind of keep somebody on until we, month by month, until we find a replacement, we have an adequate quorum, or is, I don't know what the proper protocol in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, you can ask, but they don't know, they may not know, aware of the fact that you probably won't be having quorums.
Right, that's, to clarify, I believe we have 8 commissioners. We have 3 terms expiring. We need to determine of the 3 expiring terms, which, if any of the 3 would like a reappointment. But even at the baseline, we do have a quorum with 5 commissioners, correct?
You would have a quorum if you had 5.
Correct.
And everybody attends.
But we have to manage at least 4 attendees
Right.
of the 5 in the worst case scenario. So I'm not sure we're at that jeopardy level, but we do need of our 3 commissioners with expiring terms first, if any are seeking to be reappointed, and then secondly, the notification to the political parties in getting ahead of appointments of folks that do meet the qualifications of the commission members.
Okay.
Right, now, have any of the commission's members whose terms are expiring been on longer than 8 years totally?
No, I'm in my 8th year as of February 28th.
Okay.
I
You-
only had 1 4-year term.
Are you fulfilling another term, John?
Best,
If I get elected again.
What's the rule on that? Because I've been on the commission since April 2014. So this April will be 6 years for me. What are they? They're 2-year terms?
they're
No,
4-year
they're
terms.
4-year
4-year.
terms.
But it depends, you could have taken over mid-year, so you could have taken over somebody's seat that had 3 years left. That first 3 years doesn't count. So that 3 years you could sit, and then you could have 2 4-year terms after that.
So I don't know where that, I honestly don't know where that, I never really paid attention to it. I don't even know what the rules are. It's
Your term does not expire right now. I think you have 2 more years.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I plan to stay on until the term is up or
Yeah.
whatever.
And I guess I'll take this, if anybody knows friends, family members that live in town, registered to vote in town, that they think might be a good candidate, now's the time to send them to meet us. This great family that we have.
And John, if you're expressing your interest in being reappointed, then, that's something I'm sure the commission would like to support.
Yeah, John Siviak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're stuck with John Hall for 2 more years. Just kidding.
You said it, not me. All right. So we'll just have that kind of making sure we have a continuation plan in place as new business. And then our favorite item, number 10. Anybody want to handle that?
Motion to adjourn.
I second that motion.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Happy
Merry
holidays.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Good seeing everybody.
Yeah,
Merry
Merry Christmas,
Christmas.
everyone.
Everybody.
Take care.